Welcome to Inquiry into Self. I'm going to do a simple inquiry example, and I'm going to do this on seeing logging trucks. Um, you can, in my town and a lot of towns, you can see those huge logging trucks with the huge logs. They've cut down these giant trees. Um, Here in my area, the main one being logged is redwoods. They don't cut down the old growth anymore, but some of them are still substantial sized trees. However, this also applies to any time you see something in nature that is being taken from its natural way of being to some other transformation. So the inquiry starts, and we're using the Byron Katie inquiry, which you can find at thework.com. They should not be cutting down those trees. It really helps to have something very defined in doing the whole inquiry process. So they should not cut down the trees. It's very simple. It expresses kind of the crux of what I'm feeling in that moment. So then the next question is, do I absolutely know that to be true? And it's simply a yes or no. In this case, I would have to say no. I really don't know what's the right should be for the world, but your answer could be yes, it absolutely shouldn't be. It's just a noticing. Then the next question is, how do I feel? What happens? How do I respond when I'm having that thought? So what happens is I feel a lot of tension. I feel a lot of judgment. I feel self-righteous. I feel very separate, feel heavy, alienated. And I can even feel my dislike towards the whole company. So, there's clearly a lot of conflict I'm adding into the world. So this is just a question to notice that. Notice what happens inside of me and notice what I'm doing. The next is, how would I feel without that thought? So if I had no belief about what should be, and there goes the logging truck. Well, it would just be a logging truck going by. There would be trees cut down. I actually now have done this inquiry, so I know actually a very positive thought that happens. But pretending I've not done this inquiry before. Okay, so there's just calmness. There's no belief about what has to be. There's somebody doing their job, going to work. They're just contributing in the way they know to contribute. It's very simple. Very simple. Okay, so then now comes the really, really helpful point is the turnarounds. So I should not be cutting down those trees. And in what way am I cutting down the trees? Well, definitely I am cutting down those people. I am saying that they're wrong, that, even if it's not them, maybe the loggers are just supposedly obeying orders, but the big corporation who's doing that, whoever's authorizing and declaring this, I'm cutting them down. So that's interesting, right? I defend the trees, but I don't defend the people. I should not be cutting down those trees. So it's another example. 3 examples that I should not be cutting down those trees. Well, I'm cutting down my own inside. I'm saying that the world is broken. I'm making what might already be a naturally beautiful, harmonious existence. I'm making it an unharmonious existence. I'm setting myself apart as somehow more righteous, more peace-loving, more whatever I'm thinking I am. But it's by some artificial rules that I'm employing. Somebody else could come up with any old rule they wanted. Why are my rules better? If all my rules are my preference, I can work in the world to help that preference happen, but I certainly can't say I am the one who knows, because whatever is happening right now is what is. it's inevitable. It's the current of this invisible but perfect orchestration, this dance of harmony and beauty that happens until I decide it should be different. Okay, and how else do I cut down the logs? Well, I take out weeds. Isn't that interesting? I've got the certain plants that I think should be killed. That's very interesting. What are other ways that I take down logs? I go around and I live in a wooden house. I cut down those logs. I buy things that are shipped on wooden pallets. I cut down those logs. I've, I'm sure, eaten stuff that was roasted over wood at some point. Yeah, there's a lot of plant life that I wear cotton clothing. I think it's fine. Take away the cotton. Um, I eat asparagus. I eat broccoli. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, fruit, the plant isn't destroyed, but there's a lot of things I eat where I'm eating the whole plant. So, I am a consumer of nature. And as I recognize how much I consume nature, I could go into, a lot more justification or defensiveness, or, I can go into this place of shoulding still, or I can just open. And what happens for me is this gratitude. Wow, I am so supported by nature. I am so supported. Fortunately, the weeds that I pull up, the same weeds grow or similar grow somewhere else. So it's not like I'm destroying. They are so robust. And fortunately, the asparagus doesn't revolt. It actually nourishes me. I'm so supported by nature. So supported. All the wood in my house hasn't gone on strike and left my house. It's right here supporting me. I'm so supported. There's so much gratitude that happens then. Okay, they should cut down the trees. That's another turnaround. How do I know? So now I'm looking for the 3 examples to support they should cut down the trees. How do I know that all the trees believe they should stay growing their full life? Maybe some of the trees actually, and this is a little bit of anthropomorphizing, but I also think there's some amount of truth in this. There's an exuberance of being in everything. It doesn't really feel like a human exuberance, but there is an exuberance of being in everything. I've felt it actually in a rock. And in the trees, I can understand the possibility that there's an exuberance of being in becoming a fence around a place where children play. The tree got to be a tree for a while, and then the tree gets to be a fence surrounding children playing. Or then the tree gets to be a beautiful home overlooking the ocean where there's people who gather and celebrate each other. I can understand that. I have felt a fern that had been cut back for a hiking trail, and I just had this sense coming from the fern that it said, we are happy to be participating in this human experiment right now, and we know that participating with humans right now comes with getting cut back on hiking, again, away from hiking trails. There could be a joy in participating in this full complex dance. Maybe, if we're going to anthropomorphize that they should get to live the way we think they should, we could also anthropomorphize that they love dancing in this complex earth. Maybe they're going to be part of some great telescope where they get to hear and participate in the views of galaxies far away. So they could be living in order to make this next step. That actually has a strong resonance for me. I don't know what will for you. But at this point, I just feel just so much gratitude and wonder that this magnificent dance is orchestrating so much interdependence. How could the beautiful transport of fruit, I love that I get to have a mango, and mangoes do not grow here. I love that I get to have an avocado. Not very many avocados grow here. Even if they're just transported from 3 counties over, pallets are often a big part of that, and wood is often, all kinds of natural products are all part of that. I'm so grateful for this interconnected earth. I visited an island in the Caribbean where there was, it looked like a lot of want. That would be a label, right? But what I saw was that the place was so beautiful, and yet there was not as much constructive cooperation on this particular island. And now I have this great appreciation for all the places where there's so much constructive cooperation that just creates and creates and creates, and nature participates. And maybe we'll find ways that, allow things to flourish in their natural environment, and we get to have a lot of constructive contribution. I'm not saying that there aren't possibilities for going forward to even better expressions, but this expression right now, I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful that the trees want to participate or are in participating, and from what I can see, they're not revolting. The trees are participating in this way. I'm just grateful that I'm so supported. I'm just grateful that I'm in this position to get to enjoy so much. And hopefully I find ways to contribute where there's less cost, more benefit. But I feel so supported. And I'm very grateful. So I could keep doing turnarounds, but the final thing is I look forward to, have I now reached a point where it's not even like, okay, there's acceptance. No, I look forward to seeing trucks on the logging trucks on the road. I look forward to seeing trees on the logging trucks, and I do. I did this, I don't know, a few years back, given that I live here. And when I see the trees, I just thank them. I have so much gratitude. So much gratitude. How it is this perfect harmony, this perfect medley, this inevitable, inescapable dance that is supporting everything I love that exists right now. It's all essential. The biggest thing I love that exists right now is this spiritual explosion we're in. But I also love the nature where I get to hike and the fact that there are roads that get me there. And I love all of the different flowers and trees that I get to see there and the views of the mountains that I get to see there. And all of that nature is supported by the fact that there are humans who develop certain areas and preserve other areas. I'm in love. I'm in love with what is. And I'm grateful.